All right, Shalom. I'm going to say Kahala Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shai Ba'Hashem Kadash. I'm going to say double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessing to the Akim out there that's pushing this word with truth and sincerity, with a labor of love. Right? This is Shemach, and we've got a little lesson. I want to speak about specifically why we should follow the commandments, and the reasons for not following the commandments. We see a lot of examples in the scriptures, such as the wicked and Esau, Cain. We also don't speak about the people that know exactly some part of the gospel, or even try to take their knowledge, limited knowledge. They don't have the oil, okay, and they try to mold the scriptures in exactly what they want it to be. So let's get right into it. This is Romans chapter 1, go down to verse 15. Well, I do want to start there, but actually that's the spirit, so let's go there. It says, so as much as in me is, I am ready to preach the gospel to you that are at Rome also. So this is Apostle Paul. He's speaking, all right? A lot of things are happening to, Israel at that time. Definitely being persecuted by the Romans, okay? And people had to get out of Israel. People, if you go into Acts and Romans, you see a lot of it. So one thing you actually see too is that we're having this word Rome come up here, and the word Rome, we knew that literally meant at that time, Apostle Paul, he knew that there was brethren in Rome. So he says, I'm going to go where Rome is, all right? And it says, verse 16, for I am not ashamed of the gospel of Yahweh Shai HaMashiach, for it is the power of Yahweh unto salvation to everyone that believeth, to the Jew first, and also to the Greek. All right, very important there. We've covered that. The Jews, Israel, all right, so-called Native Americans, Hispanic, and Negroes, but also to the Greek, and the Greek or these other Gentiles, all right, and so yeah. Matter of fact, if you scoot up here to 13, it says, now I would not often have you ignorant, brethren, that oftentimes I proposed to come unto you, but was let hitherto, that I may have some fruit among you also, even as among other Gentiles. So Apostle Paul's writing letters, and he's speaking under the Greeks, people in Corinth and whatnot. But it's very important. And Salakia, I'm going to go down here. And to know here that, Paul, he was saying, hey, listen, I'm ready to preach the gospel. And in Rome, we also consider this Rome here, okay? Spiritually, Rome. I mean, in the aspect, we know that this is Egypt or bondage, okay? But Rome, in the aspect of that, who are the leading elites or rulers, publicans, diplomats, governors, heads of state, and Congress, so-called Edomites. They make up the majority, all right? And so that's what you had back in Rome also, okay? Wasn't it the when Apostle Paul went up to the Roman guard and started speaking Greek, and didn't the guard say to him, hey, why are you speaking to me? Aren't you Ethiopian? I'm paraphrasing, all right? So we know, obviously, Apostle Paul was looking like a different color. And we've seen the Ethiopians, anytime so-called Christians want to speak about Ethiopians in the Bible, they there's not going to be any typically pale-faced Ethiopians, okay? So I'm going to go into some other scriptures, but it's really, really important. I'm going to see if here, Romans 1 just to get into the thick of things. I'm going to scoot here to Romans 13, okay? And the reason I'm doing this is because there was, I forget what he goes by, but he was running his gums talking about how, Alba Bivens is saying don't, let the word be true. Well, let's read it here, all right? And this is, and I'm going to get to the point with, I'm going to answer all this with scriptures, all right? Romans chapter 13, verse 1 says, "Let every soul be subject unto the higher powers, for there is no power but Yahweh. The powers that be are ordained of Yahweh." All right. Verse 2, "Whoever therefore resisteth the power, resisteth the ordinance of Yahweh, and they that resist shall receive to themselves damnation." All right. Lots of different instances about damnation and things that are just absolutely things you're going to have to worry about, all right, if you don't listen to the power of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai. So hey, yeah, let's go down. There's so many good things, in the scripture. I'm going to go down here. Verse 5. It says, "Wherefore ye must needs be subject." Must needs, just remember, remind me of the brothers, I must needs to read it. I must need to get this, right? So, "Wherefore ye must needs be subject, not only for wrath, but also for conscience sake." Hey, your conscience, being in this truth, and we have many things that we go and deal with our daily lives, catching hell, this captivity. But for your conscience sake, it's really important here. This is for you to know, all right, that you're doing the right thing. Your conscience. Remember Pinocchio with Jiminy Cricket, before a lot of people's time, but so you always let your conscience be a guide, right? So that's really, really important, all right? And it goes on speaking here, giving honors to people that actually do, go about that, And up closer it says, hey, listen, these men, the prophets of the Lord that actually going out, speaking, the Lord's name and whatnot, these people they're swinging the sword. That's why the scripture said the word, paraphrasing, is a double-edged sword, all right? So why is it good to listen? Why in the first place? Okay? And this idiot was talking about, right here, it says, listen to God, but don't listen to man. But he's saying, oh, listen to the words of Paul, because he's reading from Paul. This is stupid as shit. It doesn't even make any sense. It's just spirit of disobedience working, in this dude. But that also prompted me to go into this. So let's go to Ecclesiastes chapter 8, verse 2. Let's start on 1. Let's go ahead and get this. It says, who is Salakia as the wise man, and who knoweth the interpretation of a thing? A man's wisdom maketh his face to shine, and the boldness of his face shall be changed. Verse 2. I counsel thee to keep the king's commandment, and that in regard of the oath of Yahweh. Alright, so right there, I counsel you to take the king's commandment. He was letting you know right there. Alright, take the king's commandment, okay? In regard of the Most High. Bottom line, alright? So it's really, really important to keep the commandments and in regard of the oath of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, okay? So it's really, really important for us to do that, and that we're considered wise when we do that. All right, the oath that had been given to us. All right. So we're going to go into some more scriptures here. I'm going to go back. I think there was something else on this that I wanted to discuss on this. Salakia, brothers, I'm just going. I'm not ashamed. All right, so we're going to skip on to Numbers chapter 16. All right. Numbers 16 and verse 1. We're going to speak about somebody named Korah. All right. Korah, and I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that name correctly, but for the sake of hearing interpretation, let's see it.
Strong's H 7141. Korah.
All right. Named Korah. All right. Hebrews H7141. It's a real important person. All right. As far as for edification purposes to understand who that was. All right. But it says now Korah, all right, the son of Izhar, and it goes further into it. All right. It basically says, and they rose up before Moses with certain of the children of Israel, 250 princes of the assembly, famous in the congregation of men renowned. All right, so this Korah, he ended up going and getting, the strongest of the strong. All right, the men, the people that he could get with them, to get to do his bidding to rise up against Moses. Okay, all right, so he ended up here, verse 3. It says, and they gathered themselves together against Moses and against Aaron, and said unto them, Ye take too much upon you, seeing all the congregation are holy, every one of them, and Yahweh Bahashem Yahushua is among them. Wherefore then lift ye up yourselves above the congregation of Yahweh Bahashem Yahushua. Verse 4, and when Moses heard it, he fell upon his face. And he spake unto Korah and unto his company, saying, even tomorrow, the Most High, his power, Yahweh will show who are his and who is holy. Let me read that again. Even tomorrow, the Most High power will show who are his and who is holy, and will cause him to come near unto him, even him who hath chosen will he cause to come near unto him. All right. Very, very strong words. All right. Because this is when this man is rising up against this person. And if you go into the scriptures, it starts going exactly into who this person was. All right. We'll get into that right now. All right. It says, Korah, along with his two companions, resisted the civil authority of Moses for refusing to appear before him as command. Korah, Dathan, and Abiram, along with their households and houses, were swallowed up by the earth. So further along in number 16, when you go, it starts telling you all the whole and the rest of the story. I encourage you brothers to definitely go into it and check it out. And it talks about further revolt of Korah against Moses and Aaron in the interest of the people at large against the tribe of Levi. And it said the rebels were consumed by fire of the Lord. And number 17, it starts talking about the destruction of him. Fire of the Lord. You see that come up a lot, right? Anytime you see destruction, it's always by fire, right? Changes things. When you light something on fire, it changes the chemical reaction, molecule, anatomy of anything. Okay? So they followed the opposition of Korah and 250 Levites against the monopoly of the priesthood claimed by Aaron. I like this right here. The gainsaying, meaning against the word, was Korah's denial of the authority of Moses as the Most High's chosen spokesman. All right. So hey, listen, that's a very direct correlation and a symptom the spazzing out against our leaders, the men